Place your hands out, palms down for me. And just push that one in.
I know we've all seen handcuffs before, but probably the majority of us haven't worn them. They're tight around your wrists and just that immediate feeling that I'm not a free citizen anymore. That's what that tells you. I can imagine it must be terrifying in here. Absolutely terrifying for some people. And then the even scarier thing is for those who think that this is part of their normal life, that this is their routine. They'll come in and out of jail, they'll come in and out of handcuffs. There's no way for someone to live. Built to contain our most dangerous criminals and paramilitary prisoners, I've been given unprecedented access to Maghaberry Prison.
Coming in?
I'll come and see us. Question is when I get back out again. And I'm bringing you in with me to meet the men who call it home and find out what leads to a life inside.
You're getting treated like criminals in here, Stevie.
Every day, a stream of prisoners arrive. Thank you. They've done terrible things, hurt many people, caused so much harm. But feeling what it's like to lose my freedom, you wouldn't do too much for those ones, reminds me these people are still human beings. This would be it. Through that door and a lot of years, if that's what your sentence is, to think. Most of the men I've met in here have been in for a while, but today Anita is introducing me to a fairly new arrival, David.
How are you? Do I have to have the nudie picture on the wall?
I'm a lonely man in this place, you know.
And when your ma sees it goes, what?
Well, she's not going to see though, is she?
Well, yes, she will.
Why'd you not to turn your head though?
What would his mum think?
Yeah, she'd probably think I have taste.
Would you be objecting if it was you men on the wall?
Of course. There's not one of them the same. Blonde,
No,
dark.
Definitely not. Beggars can't be choosers.
But you're happy enough?
Yeah.
Grant.
All right, mate. Good to see you. David has previous convictions, including assaulting police officers, but nothing as serious as the manslaughter that recently led to his arrival in Maghaberry and a stay in Ban House. Something he says was a shock to the system.
See, your first couple of weeks, it is the hardest. Like, I was physically starving and I was on the phone to my family and I told my sister, life is just not living while you're in here because you're not living. And they came back to me, the staff, believe it or not, because I was being polite and never gave off at them, and they gave me a job. So they did over in Band.
So they had heard that phone call and
Yeah,
they were concerned about you?
Yeah. So they came to my cell door and gave me a job. I was celled up with another guy that was actually here for tying up his cellmate. He tied him up and held him hostage. So he did, and they put me in a cell with him. And as soon as I went in, he was like, I can't guarantee his safety. And I just turned and looked at the officer like, you need to get me out of here. Like, he's just told you I'm not safe in here.
What did the officer say?
The officer says, oh, you're gonna have to put your head down.
Are you scared in here?
Yeah, it is a scary place. You know, I'm not the biggest guy in the world. You know, I'm not an aggressive person. I'm not the sort of person that would like sort out problems with my fists, believe it or not, for what I am in here for.
David is serving an 8.5-year sentence for manslaughter after stabbing an intruder in his home.
I'm here because of a burglar. I was lying in my bed and basically didn't drink that night, had a really nice quiet night, you know. I was tempted to go out, but then I was like, no, I'll just have an early night. And then next thing you know, my door got hit. 2 masked men, one had a knife. You know,
You were in bed at the time?
Yeah. So the door hit. I go downstairs to answer it, and as soon as I open the door, there was a knife in my face, like, you're dealing in the area, you need to give us money, and basically drugs. And I never had any money, but I did have 2 grams of grass, you know, 20 pounds worth that I smoked myself. I was like, yeah, take what's in the cupboard. And whenever I was standing there, like, okay, they're gonna take what they want and like leave me alone. That's whenever he tried to stab me, and it just went into a complete...
Unprovoked.
I never did anything at that stage. I was willing to give them what
But why
they
would
wanted.
this guy want to stab you?
Maybe because they were unhappy with what I had. It's crazy because, see...
Really, David, though? Really?
Yeah, really. Basically, that's exactly what happened.
So in those moments where he's at the cupboard, you say your back's at the wall, are you thinking whether to attack him or not?
No, I had no intention to attack him because I was so petrified, you know, and then whenever he tried to stab me and I got that weapon, then I went into complete attack mode.
You're claiming that you tried to protect yourself?
Yeah, basically. And whenever they explained to me what I did in the interview room, I was shocked, you know.
What did they say?
It says he was stabbed 6 times, which was, for me, horrible. You know, I was crying my eyes out whenever I heard it because I never thought I could do something so barbaric. But it's amazing what you can do when you're in a life and death situation. You know, you might change into someone else for that short time.
Where did you stab him?
He was stabbed in the liver and heart, which were 2 fatal wounds. So either one of them would have killed him outright.
So you grabbed the actual knife, and are you trying to stop it coming into your body, or are you trying to...
I'm pretty sure what I did is I just turned it towards him.
The court did not fully accept David's version of events. The judge said that while David was subject to a frightening and unjustifiable assault, the men who came to David's door were unarmed, and that it was David who lifted the knife from his own kitchen.
What were you convicted of?
From day one, I admitted that I killed him. I phoned the police and says, listen, I've just killed a burglar. But what ended up happening is it got brought down to manslaughter because I never admitted to, which there was nothing to admit to, that I meant to kill him, which I didn't, you know. It was just in that situation, it was him or me.
What did the court find against you then, David?
So you have reasonable force, don't you, whenever someone comes into your house? I went beyond that. So what I did, because I saved myself, morally was kind of right, but by the law, it wasn't right. You know, because by the law, you can use so much force, but, you know, the guy did, like you says, I did kill him.
The judge also found that the men had been harassing David in the days leading up to the killing, and that David placed a hammer by the front door and went to bed that night wearing his coat and shoes.
So there had been a lead up to this?
A lead up, yeah.
This wasn't a random burglary?
It was windows being smashed, my house being egged. It's just because I didn't know them that well. And then they were trying to like befriend me, but they weren't my sort of people, you know, and then obviously they didn't like that, so they started coming around and smashing my house.
What, was the knife never recovered?
The knife was recovered, so it was recovered in an alleyway in a bin. Yeah. Because when the other guy ran away, I'm assuming he got rid of it.
The judge determined it was David who disposed of the knife.
What's it feel like in your quieter moments? You're lying in this bed.
It's horrible. Yeah.
Why are your eyes tearing up?
Just, it is like, it's an emotional
Why?
thing. Just because having a death in your hands, whatever scenario, even in war, whatever it is, if you've got a remorse, it's gonna haunt you. So it is, you know.
And it haunts you?
Yeah, it does, definitely. Anyone could have been in my situation.
Here, listen, thank you very much.
Yes, it's nice meeting you, Stephen. You too.
It is David's view that anyone could find themselves in his situation, but it's how we react that matters. David's actions that night took a young man's life. His parents, his friends, his loved ones have to deal with that reality every single day for the rest of their lives. Prison may be hard, but it's temporary. The trauma, the pain, the grief these men have inflicted on their victims and their loved ones will never go away.
Come on, no one get playing! Where's the justice, Steve? Where is the justice?
Where is that justice?
Stephen, go in, you fat prick!
Can you believe they're calling me fat? Like, can you believe it?
I've just bumped into a prisoner on his way back from visits. He's not happy.
I had a visit there 2:45, and she's the gate with 2 kids, and says no, she's 5 minutes over the time. You can't have your visit, so go back. So she's at the front gate there with 2 kids. We're locked like dogs. This is all for you to look through, for you to use the cameras, and that doesn't happen. We're locked like dogs over there.
Over where?
Over in Davis. I'm at Davis. We're all locked like dogs. That's all bullshit because you're in. No, this happens. They get away with everything in here.
How long are you in for? How many more years?
2 years left.
What are you going to do? Go out and come back in again?
No, fuck, nah, I'm not getting it right this time. I'm just going to go back to buying and selling cars and keep my head down and staying away from crime and have to for this fucking shit. Of course I mean it. I need a change. I'm sick of it. This is a mental health institution. This isn't jail. This is a change. This is put people's head away. I see fellas coming in here that wouldn't take a drug, wouldn't take nothing, and they end up, before they get out, they're fucking strung out the beds. It's not a jail. It's a fucking mental institution. This is... You're only saying, yes, the facilities are brilliant. Yes, it looks good. It all looks happy days. But when there's no staff, there's no nothing. Do you get me?
And tell me what your latest crime was.
What do you mean? A robbery? From 5 years ago. It was just stupid.
But robbing who? Or what?
What?
Robbing who or what?
What was a robbery?
Yes, but was it... Like, what was the robbery?
It was a robbery of a post office. I'm not going to go into that, but no one was hurt. I got 5 years for it, and... I didn't go in, no, but then...
So all I'm saying is, right?
Yes, I understand.
You know exactly what I'm saying.
Yes,
I'm saying there's a no, hold on.
Yeah. There's
two
people
different things.
As innocent victims, yes.
Right, but two different things.
People do, I know what you're going to try and say, and I understand people who are doing their job and shouldn't have to...
And you're walking in somewhere and traumatising them,
yes.
and then you're complaining about the conditions in your punishment.
But do you think that's right? But yes, I've done wrong, so there's 2 wrongs to make it right.
But you're repeatedly doing wrong.
I understand that, but I'm trying to make you see and for people to see as what's going on in here. That's what I'm trying to. That's why I'm talking to you about this, because it's not right.
Would it affect
people committed suicide? A fella when I was in Foyle died. I was down the stairs. See, the next 2 days later, I was fucked in this cell. Do you know what I mean? I was looking out the window and there's the wee black van that's just there.
Tell me this: what can the system do?
The system
to hold on to stop you getting out and coming back in again.
System, better facilities, but right, I get out there, I have my own family to go to, my own address, go to grandmothers or go to my partners, but they're trying to send people to fucking hostels, for basing rapist hostels with sex offenders, kiddie fiddlers. They're sending people where he's a criminal, right, or your 5-year licence, right, go to probation once a week, try and change. What the fuck, yes, I've committed a crime, but you're going from one jail to another. No, yes, I understand that, but you're going from one jail to another. Do you know what I mean? So you ain't getting out after doing 2.5 years. No, you can't go home. You can't go there. But we want to put you in a hostel. The manor, there's lifers are only after doing 20 years. There's people there for robbery. There's top fucking Sunday world sex offenders, kiddie fiddlers, the worst of disgrace, sitting at the dinner table in them hostels, and they expect you, yes, no bar, to go in and change. I know I've done wrong, but that wouldn't be me. I would rather do the jail and fucking stick to that, you know what I mean? If I had that much money, you sitting in your arse torturing them politicians, I would have a few quid. Do you know what I mean?
Bye-bye, Joe.
Do you know what I mean? Listen, see you later. Senior officer, bye-bye.
See you later.
See you later, Stephen. See you in the morning.
The prisoners complain about a lack of resources to help them and their mental health.
West Side, motherfucker. Haha, keep on, West Side.
But the brutal truth is that these are the issues their victims are also dealing with.
How many chance of an interview?
Oh, you want to interview me, do you?
I'm an innocent man.
Behind these walls, do these men recognise the damage they've done? 33-year-old Jason was the ringleader of a gang who conned 76 victims out of thousands of pounds in online scams.
Well, this is quite hot. Quite dangerous. You might need to stand back.
His victims were left feeling hurt, humiliated and angry, with some having lost their life savings. He's agreed to speak to me, but isn't keen to talk about his crimes. I am. You pled guilty to 15 counts of conspiracy.
Yeah. That's my
fraud.
Yeah, that's what my solicitor advised me to do.
9 of acquiring criminal property,
yeah,
and 1 charge of converting criminal property.
Yeah.
What did you do?
Well, see, that's all that stuff is in the past. I think when that day when I came from court and I was put in the prison bus, I sort of just move on with the future, and I put everything like that behind me. Yeah.
So what was the crime? Was it selling people cars, selling people mobiles? At least they thought they were being sold them.
Yeah, I believe people I think they bought things that didn't exist at the time. But You know, the mechanical part of that stuff that was going on, hand on my heart, I have no idea. It's very hard to speak about it. It is very, because it's embarrassing. You know, nobody wants to talk about mistakes that they made in their life.
So
I didn't
what did
do them
you
in my
do?
own mind.
Did you con people out of departing with their money? Like, is that what you did?
The group of people did, and I was part of that group.
Psychologically, are you in shutdown about what you did? Or is it embarrassment? Because there's no doubt me sitting here, like, you know what you did, but you don't want to say it out loud. I've been told, and I've heard hundreds of times about what I was part of, and you know, it's confusing for me. Now, I know this may sound stupid to you, but it's confusing to me as it is. Obviously, not as confusing as it is for you, but like I say, like, I could mention something that I was probably part of, but it was someone else that was bigger into it. Victims lost their life savings for imaginary cars that didn't exist.
They could say, right, oh, I've lost my life savings and lost this and that. Nobody is going to give their life savings for a car.
But some people lost thousands of pounds.
Which is a lot of money. A lot of money to lose, for anybody to lose.
And, like, were they vulnerable and old and confused, or who was targeted?
I wouldn't know about their age, sex and location, to be honest with you. You know, I wouldn't really know much about that.
Like, what I'm reading here, and I'm trying to get it from you.
Yeah.
Jason Donoghue was the ringleader of a fraud racket worth £187,000, selling mobiles and classic cars that didn't exist.
187,000. Do I look like to you like a man that has 187,000 pounds?
Well, I don't know, so you tell me.
I'm not saying that I wasn't part of something like this here, because I'm here, I'm in jail. You know, I'm not delusional, but I think a lot of other people got off quite lightly with that. But that's, you know, the case is over when it's dealt with.
What? What was being sold that doesn't exist?
Like it says, there was cars there on the paper that you read out, cars and stuff.
They convinced people to buy cars
you see,
that you couldn't show them.
See, this is the thing. I didn't convince anybody.
So what did you do?
You know, I didn't convince anybody to do anything that they didn't want to do. Like, I didn't ask people. I didn't say, look, give me your money, or I didn't go to people and grab them and say, look, I want your money. I didn't rob anybody. Like,
they thought they were buying a car.
Yeah.
They gave you their details. And there was never a car. Once you got their bank details, you took their money and you disappeared, and they then couldn't track you down.
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
That's probably, yeah, that's probably around the situation of it. But
did you know what was happening?
Well, to a certain extent, yeah. Like in reality, like, yeah.
And why then? Because you'd never been inside before.
Never.
So why, when you know that, and you know that there's decent people and they're losing their money, where is the morality inside you? What goes on? Were you desperate for money, or like, why didn't you say, hold on, stop? I'm hurting people here.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to bring this interview into.
Well, see, there's a lot. See, you could dwell on that, and you could say to yourself, why I did this in my life and why I did that in my life. Nobody really knows the answer to that.
Like, we all understand the difference between right and wrong.
A lot of people don't.
And you didn't?
There's a lot of things I don't understand. An awful lot of things. You know, 15 months.
That's what you've got to go?
It's a long time. A year and 3 months. Or 450 days. Whatever way you will look at it. It's a long time, man. But I don't sit and dwell on it. I don't sit and think about it, really. I try not to, because you sit and think about it, you'll think of stupid things, and you'll open up other things, and you'll think about other worse things, and you think about the past, and that's sort of a place where I don't want to go to, is the past. You know?
The judge described you as a calculating individual, a con man, and a liar.
See, do you know,
who successfully hoodwinked your victims out of tens of thousands of pounds, and that's from a judge.
Yeah.
So obviously I'm sitting here thinking, am I being manipulated?
by someone saying, well, you know, oh, you tell me, and I'm sitting here thinking, am I sitting opposite a con man who's shaping around the story?
Since I got on that prison bus, I'm a different man. My one night was enough here. The first night I came here, I promised myself I'd never come back again. Just, if you were to hand me £1 million, which I know you do have, if you were to hand me that to stay here for 5 years, you know, I wouldn't do it. It doesn't pay. You know, money is it's immaterial.
Money is not immaterial to the people Jason defrauded. Prisoners move on. They work on themselves. They turn their lives around. But their actions have lasting, permanent consequences. Their victims are forced to pick up the pieces. And in the most tragic cases, some don't ever get that chance. Before I leave, I want to speak to the first prisoner I met in here, Andres.
Good to see you. Big honor to meet you, actually.
He was sentenced for murder after dragging his victim into an alleyway and beating him to death.
I regret what I've done, and I never can forgive myself. Never.
What happened?
Just a man was attacked for no reason. Drink. Me and my friend go walking home and attack man for no reason. I see him, his face, everything.
You may or may not believe that Andres is remorseful, that he's changed. But there's one more part to his story that he neglected to include. I know a lot more now than what I did in day one that I walked in here. It is such a learning experience, and hopefully it has been for you too. I just want to complete Andres' story, and I think that it's unfinished because there are unanswered questions. So I want to go and have a wee chat with him about some things that I haven't been told and see what his explanation is. Andres!
Hello, Stephen. Welcome back.
Good to see you.
Yes.
So Andres, the reason why I've come back to see you, when I went outside, I looked through the court case. You had said to me that you don't know why you picked on the person who you killed. But the court said that you specifically targeted that person because they were gay.
No, definitely not, Stephen.
I'm just comparing what the court said so I want to read this to you, because at the moment, Andres, what I can't do is I can't just take what you have said. I have to put the full version. Okay? So the judge said, I have no doubt whatever that they did so. This is attack this victim because they knew he was homosexual and intended to attack him and did attack him for that reason.
No, it's not true. Definitely not true, Stephen.
And what the court also saw, Andres, was that after this man was attacked, he was then dragged up an entry and attacked for a second time by you.
I no one remembers this one, so it's very hard to remember.
And that this victim was quite well known to be gay, and that you targeted him just because of his sexuality.
No, it's not true.
Now, you've promised me that you're a reformed person. Part of being reformed is about telling the truth all these years later.
Biggest mistake in my life. And again, I want to sorry victim's family. All my heart, Stephen.
Why is it hurting so much?
Because it took somebody's life. Somebody's life took somebody's life, and that's why no one remember. Lying in the cell sometimes at night time, thinking, why this night was, why no come back home, why? He's first innocent man. That's it, sorry, so no one told.
Okay. Truth has been hard to find in Maghaberry. It's a messy, complicated place.
As you've driven into Maghaberry, you've seen large grey walls, large fences, and those grey walls predominantly keep prisoners in prison, but also keep the general public from actually seeing what happens in prison. It's not the draconian, dark, dungeon that people would think. You know, there's a significant amount of good work that goes on in here. This morning there's 100 men in my care who have a diagnosed and recognised psychotic condition.
This is a place of punishment, but locked in here are problems that scare me. Addiction, childhood trauma, huge mental health issues, all complicated and difficult to fix. The scale of that is something the prison service is struggling to address. But although many have been scarred by these men's crimes, we all need to decide how we treat these human beings.
Get the floor brushed. I wouldn't like to be paying you by the hour.
Oh, I don't get paid for this either. That's annoying. Slave labour.